1, 2, 3.
Good morning, teacher Lam and teacher
Good morning, students. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, student. How are you today?
I am
Very good.
Okay, I am happy too. Okay, I want to know who joined our class. Are you ready? Yes. When you're ready, I want to turn on your camera, please. Okay, the first, Johan.
absent.
Okay. Who? Who? Thank you. I. Absent. Okay. Tan Tan. Tan Tan, can you hear me?
Huh?
Say present.
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 Thank you. Leon.
Present.
Thank you. Posh.
Present.
Thank you. Palm. Palm, can you say present?
Absent.
Palm.
Here, but
Palm
it's not
Joy.
saying.
But
Yeah.
he don't talk.
Okay, okay. Jompon. Jompon. Thank you. Chalam. Chalam. Chalam, absent. Present or absent? Absent, right? Okay. Who? Who? ยอดมนุษย์ absent ไม่มี late โอเค DJ
Present.
DJ DJ
Present plus absent equal present.
โอเคโอเคภู DJ can you hear me no โอเค Bosch absent Chain
Present.
thank you Aidin
Present.
thank you
Present.
Pơm
Present.
thank you Bubu
Present.
thank you Ing
Present.
thank you น้ำหนึ่ง
Present.
thank you Mobile
Present.
thank you เต็มฟ้า
Present.
แป้ง absent โอเคขวัญข้าว
Present.
thank you ข้าวหอม
Present.
โอเค Jasmine
Present.
thank you อโป absent ยายา absent โอเค นิชาsorry นาเนีย absent รายได้ absent รายได้ absent ช่อเอื้อง
Present.
thank you นิ absent เทนนิส absent โอเค นิชา
Present.
thank you grape absent โอเค milk
Present.
thank you the last หนูดี
Present.
thank you student turn on your camera please okay let's go our class now
Yeah, welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Today, we're going to start with a new topic in science. Oh, why is it there? A new topic in science, and today is Unit 5. Water in our region. Water in our region. So first, I want us to watch a short video just to give us an idea of different types of water sources so that we also understand where water comes from. Okay, so let's first watch a video. Okay, so Mr. Bionic shared with us some information about different water bodies. Now, we're also going to look at a few different types of them today. But first of all, we have 6 vocabulary words, and we all know what we're going to do now. Yeah, we're going to practice. Yes, practice, practice, practice. Because practice makes perfect. The more we practice, the better we get. So that's why I love to practice. So the first one over here. Why can't I draw? Why can't I draw? Oh, my pen is broken. Okay, doesn't want to draw now. So we're just going to read it. The first one all together here is dam.
Dam.
Very good, very good. One more
Together,
time.
student.
Dam.
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 Excellent, excellent. Okay, the one next to it is a droplet. Droplet.
Droplet.
Droplet.
Droplet.
Yes, excellent, excellent. The next one is drought.
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 Yeah, drought is when it is very dry. We have a drought where there's no rainfall for a long time. Okay, the next one is sewage.
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 Excellent, excellent. One more time. Sewage.
Sewage.
Yes, very good, very good. And the second last one is a stream.
Harvest steam.
Stream.
One more time. Stream.
Steam.
Excellent, very good, very good. And the last one is a swamp.
Swamp.
Listen to the sound at the end. Swamp. Okay.
Swamp.
Yes, swamp. Excellent. Very good. Very good. So we're going to look at some key concepts while we're doing this, but we'll go through that when we get there. The first one we have over here is streams. These are water bodies that flow from the top of mountains, and they flow through different areas. Some of them reach lakes, some of them reach dams, some of them reach the ocean. We also have rivers, which are usually larger bodies of water that are constantly there. So a river doesn't usually change. It is a big body of water that flows, and it's also usually fed through a lot of rainwater or melting ice. Next ones are lakes. Now, lakes are natural places where water collects. That's a natural place where water collects. And that can be in between mountain ranges. It can be when a meteor hits the earth. It can also be through a few other reasons. So lakes are natural bodies of water that form through also rain, rivers, streams, and melting ice can also give a lot of water. The last one we're looking at here today is the dams. The dams are man-made. We create the dams. Like a lake is natural, it occurs in nature. A dam we make because we build a big wall around it to control the level of the water. So if it rains too much, we will open up the sides of the dam and let the water go out to drop the level to a good level. Why do we need to do that sometimes? Because if the water gets too high, it's possible for the dam wall to break if there's too much pressure. So that's why a lot of countries control the amount of water they have in their dams. And dams are also usually filled up through rivers or streams, natural forms of water that at the top of the mountain, it will rain. And then the water will come down and they fill in the dams and lakes. Okay, so these are just a few types of water sources that we're going to look at. Another one we have here is water sources in the region and how we benefit from them. So it's important to know where our water comes from and why we have water, because all of us, we know if we open the tap, There's water. But how does the water get there? And where does it come from? Let's have a look. Okay. So think about what happens when you watch the rainwater. Where does all of the rainwater go? Some rainwater flows over the surface of the land, forming streams, rivers, and oceans. Some rainwater flows underground to become underground water. Some rainwater flows into reservoirs that have been built by humans to store the water by holding it behind dams. So those are just a few different types of water like we looked at. But let's quickly see, what does this student have to tell us here in the pink block? And I still don't know why my pen is not working. Give me a moment just to see if I can fix my pen. It doesn't want to draw today. Oh, there we go. Finally. Got it to work. So let's read the block on top here from this lady over here. A water source is any place where water can be found. For example, streams and lakes. Different regions have different water sources with different uses and benefits. For example, rivers may be useful for transport, while lakes are useful for growing morning glory. Okay, I want all of you to also read this paragraph on the top, the short paragraph in the pink voice bubble or chat bubble here. Can you, let me zoom in a little bit, make it easier to read. Okay, this is on page 160, page 160. So can all of us, let's please read the top part so I can see if you read it properly. So you can start from a water source. Are you ready?
Yes.
No.
Oh,
Yes.
yes,
Yes.
of course. We're always ready. Okay, so you can start now.
A water source is any place
A
where
water
water
source
can be
Water
found.
can be
For
found.
example,
Streams and lakes.
stream and lake, different
lake.
regions
Streams have
have different water source with different use and benefit. For example, rivers may be useful for transport, while they are useful for going morning schools.
Okay, okay, so it's a big mouthful of words here. Not too difficult to understand. What they basically tell us is each source of water has its own benefits. So rivers are good for transporting stuff. You can travel on it by a boat or a canoe. You can also use the river for fishing. Whereas the sea you can also use for transport, but you'll need bigger boats with engines that are strong to carry you through the currents. Plus the sea can also be used for catching fish and also as a place to swim and relax. Okay, so types of water sources. Let me just zoom out again. So there are different ways to clarify water sources. One way we can do this is by classifying water sources in natural water sources, such as rivers, and man-made water sources, such as canals. So natural water source will be like surface water, water that's on the surface, on top of the earth. And these are natural surface water, means any water source that are found on the surface of the land. These are streams, rivers, ponds, lakes, swamps, seas, and oceans. Quite a number of them that are natural surface water. Then you get groundwater. Sometimes you don't see the water because it's underneath us. It's below us, under the ground. So groundwater sources are any water source found underground. This water has drained down through soil and rocks and may be deep underground. We can use groundwater by pumping it up to the surface or by digging a well. Plants can also use groundwater that is stored in the soil. Okay. Let's quickly look at this picture before we read all this information. Look at the formation of some rain clouds. Let's first see. We have the sun. Now the sun is our source of energy. The sun is the source of energy and life. Sun, without the sun, we die. So the sun makes us strong, makes us survive life. So what happens is we have water and the sun will shine and will be very hot, like in the summer, and the water will evaporate. It will evaporate because it will heat up and go into the air. That will form water vapor. Now, water vapor is almost like steam. If you boil the kettle and you put your hand above the kettle, you will feel your hand becoming very warm and also moist, where some of the water from the steam is gathering. So the water vapor, which evaporates from rivers and oceans, forms clouds, as well as through transpiration from plants, also releasing water to the sky through the sun. The sun makes all of this possible. So once we have clouds, these clouds will end up forming rain, and this rain will fill up our dams, our rivers and oceans, and make sure they are full. But then again, the sun will then start from the beginning and take back some of the water from the oceans and the rivers. So the water level becomes less, then it rains, it becomes more. Then it evaporates, become less, rain, become more. Okay, so evaporation is basically the loss of water through the sun. The sun is very hot, especially in the summer. When we like to play outside, we will always be sweating. Now, while we as humans, we sweat, so does the plants. The plants sweat through transpiration, and they sweat also by releasing water to cool down into the air. So this is a very good process of how water recycles itself. Okay, so let's have a read and let's see what they are talking about here. So atmospheric water. Atmospheric water exists as water vapor in the air. Now, water vapor is tiny droplets of water that are too small for us to see. So it's very tiny, we don't even see them. In Thailand, you can feel them because it's very humid. So sometimes you walk outside and you just feel like your body has a lot of moisture and your hands feel like they are wet. Now that's part of atmospheric water. So water gets into the atmosphere through a variety of processes. For example, living things breathe out and they release water vapor into the air. As we are talking, we are also releasing some water vapor. If you want to test that, you can take a glass and blow on the glass with your mouth wide open. And it will form a layer of which you can then draw on. And that, if you can feel that air is a little bit moist, there's some water in that air. So that also gets evaporated into the clouds. But we can also get evaporation from rivers, lakes, and oceans. Okay. But so when the water vapor goes up into the air, it's nice and warm. So when it cools, we call it condensation. It condenses, meaning it turns from a gas into a liquid. And that process forms clouds. That's how clouds are formed. And eventually, if there's enough water in the cloud, it will release the water back to us. And then we can stand in the rain with an open mouth and drink some very fresh water. You always see when after it rains, the plants look very happy because that's clean water they are getting. Okay, so that is all a process that happens naturally. We have very little influence on it. We can't change it. It just happens, you know. So we must be very happy about the process, because if we do not have it, we have no rain. And if you think about Thailand, if there's no rain, think how hot it will be all the time, because the rain cools down the surrounding area. Okay, now let's talk about us, the humans. Yeah, what does the humans do, and what did we do to help us to have sources of water to use, to open the tap and the water comes out? How did we get there? Okay, so the amount of rain that falls each year is not always the same. So some years it rains a lot, and some years it doesn't rain enough. So humans have come up with different solutions for the problem. For example, we have wells, which are deep holes that they dig into the ground with big machines. The machine goes and it drills down deeper and deeper until they find underground water. Then they put up a well and a pump, and the pump helps to get the water out of the well. To collect the groundwater, yes, okay. And we also build reservoirs. Reservoirs are these big tanks where we get water from the dam and it gets pumped through the system into the tank where we store the water. But we also like to build dams. Dams help us to store water for longer periods. The only problem we have with dams currently is we don't know how to stop the loss of water through evaporation. So dams are very good, but they still lose a lot of water because of the sun. But we build dams also to help us with agriculture, that we're going to look at in occupation afterwards. Planting. It also helps with making electricity through making hydropower plants. Okay, so water is a very important thing. Without water, we die. Can't live without water. Impossible. It's impossible. I think you can go about 3 or 4 days, or maybe more, 4 to 5 days without any water. Okay. So let's quickly look at the last page. Not gonna bore you with too much more information. We'll look at the last page and then read this together. Okay. Types of wells. What are wells and what different types do we get? So a dug well is when you have the ground, like this is the ground right here. Let me use a book. This is the ground right here, and we dig a hole down underneath the ground, and then the water collects at the bottom, and we can use a pump to bring the water up underneath, from underneath the ground to the surface. So the water at the bottom of the well we can use in our daily life. So it's a dug well is created by people digging the well using a hand shovel. A hole is dug until it is deeper than the level of the water table. Okay. You get drilled wells, which they use big machinery to drill down and to make bigger and deeper holes. Okay. And then we have two types of reservoirs. First one, very large reservoir, where a dam is built across a valley to hold back a stream or a river. So in the mountains, they usually build the dam because the mountains have a lot of places where the rain can come down into the dam to fill up the dam. And that can also cause a problem because it might stop water from flowing down further in the stream to reach the ocean or to reach different places. And we also have small reservoirs, which are small streams and rivers that we block off so that the water can build up and we can use that. Okay, so we get two types of well: a dug well, which you dig by hand, a drill well, use machines. Two types of reservoir: a very big reservoir and a small reservoir. Okay, let's quickly have a look here. Know it, important, very important. Let's have a read what they want us to know about. So, about 1/4 of the Earth's surface is covered by land, and 3/4 is covered by water. Of the water on the Earth, about 9.7% is sea water, and 3% is fresh water. Most of the fresh water exists as ice at the polar ice caps and in glaciers. Less than 1% of the Earth's free water is found in streams, rivers, and lakes. So if you look at the statistics, we can understand why sometimes we struggle to have water in all parts of the world. Because most of the water is undrinkable, very salty. Like you can take a bottle of water like this one, fill it halfway with water, and then put 2 tablespoons of salt in it. Fill it halfway, put 2 tablespoons of salt, shake it, and then try and drink that water. It's very, very disgusting. It tastes very bad. And if you drink the water, the salt will make you even more thirsty. And if you drink enough salt water, you can also die. So, 2 important things.
999 sodium.
2 important things. Fresh water is something we have to create or store. How do we store it? We can either store it through dams, through reservoirs, or natural places like lakes. Okay. Just a couple of things there. So this is as far as I'm going to go today. We watched a video and we did some slides. So now it's your turn to answer my questions. So my first question is, what did we talk about today? What did we talk about today?
Water.
Talked
Water?
about water. Yes, excellent.
Yes.
What about water did we talk about? What about water did we talk about? Can anyone tell me? We talked about different sources of water, different places where we can find and store water. Okay. Important to remember these things because without water, we can not live. Water and the sun are the 2 most important things that we have on this planet. If one of them goes away, all of us, we die. Can't survive. Okay. So for the next class for occupation, please make sure you prepare everything we need to do some planting. Okay. And we have 2 minutes left. We can quickly play a rock, paper, scissors game. Let's see who can beat the teacher the most in the whole day. Let's see who can be the champion of the whole day, beating me the most. Okay. So turn on your cameras, get ready, because I'll give you 10 seconds before we play rock, paper, scissors. Make sure you warm up. Okay. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Shoot.
Yeah, I win tan.
Oh.
Me
Good
there,
job,
me
everyone.
there, me there.
The teacher did not lose today. Yay.
I don't lose.
Good job, teacher. Good job. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. So next time, next lesson, let's see if you can beat me then. Let's see if you can beat me then. Unlucky for most of you for this round, but you have another opportunity in the next class. So I hope you guys have a good 20-minute break, and I'll see you back again here at 11 o'clock. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Sayonara, 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 everybody.